Bethany TV for health.
A very good evening to you all wherever you're watching Bethany TV from. Welcome to Medical Minds. Today it's another interesting tale yet again. Blue or pink, boy or girl? That's what we are talking about today with Dr. Andabati. We are going to look at gender selection. Why do some mothers, some fathers, some couples have only girls or only boys? How does it go about? What is, what is the science behind it? What is the science behind it? Why do some people fail to give birth to boys or girls or fail to balance? That is why we are today here. Welcome to the show. Let's start the talk. Welcome back once again. This is Bethany TV and it's Medical Mind. Welcome to our class once again. Dr. Andabati is right here in the studio. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, Teacher Zita.
Welcome back from your long journey.
Yeah, it was long.
Thank you.
But refreshing.
That is very nice.
We have a lot of animals.
That is very good.
Through the park.
Okay,
it was nice.
Okay, that is good. I have two colors here.
Yes.
Green, which should have been blue, but let's use it for now. And then orange, which can as well be pink.
Yes.
These are all colors that represents the likes of our lifestyle and our likes as human beings.
Yes.
The blue and green can go to the boys.
Yes.
And then the orange and the pink can always go to the girls.
Yes.
This is why we are here, Doctor.
Yes.
We are going to talk about gender selection and IVF.
Very interesting.
And I'm sure there are many people outside there who are really ready to listen to this, because at times we discuss and they were like, why do I only give birth to boys? Yes. How about girls? Here you are, Doctor. It's a very long tale for you. But before we start off the day, something small for you, Doctor. Yes, since we're talking about colors, you repeat after me. It's a brain game. Yes, when I say blue, you say blue. Blue, Doctor?
Blue.
Green?
Green.
Orange?
Orange.
Black.
Black.
What's the color of your hair, Doctor?
I don't have hair. It's supposed to be black, but it's not.
It's supposed to be black.
Yes.
One more time. Green.
Yes. Green.
Blue.
Blue.
White.
White.
Orange.
Orange.
What's the color of your coat, Doctor?
White.
No. The instruction is repeat after me. One more time. Blue.
Blue.
Black.
Black.
White.
White.
Green.
Green.
What's the color of your coat, Doctor?
What is the color of my
Excellent.
coat?
That is it. Here we are. Welcome to Medical Minds. We are talking about gender selection. Why do some couples only give birth to one sex? Why do some couples only have like never balancing? That is why we are here today with Doctor to take you through the entire thing. Let's start off, Doctor, and define for us the topic as it is: gender selection. Gender selection. For someone watching there, gender selection, yes. Could you kindly help us analyze that?
Yeah, so today is a very interesting topic. We are going to discuss about gender, how we select it during the process of IVF. Now, there's difference between sex and gender. Now, sex is the biological characteristic somebody is born with, being either female or male, defined by the biology. Gender is the society's perceived state, either male or female, as perceived by the society. In what I will call a normal society, no offenses at all, like ours, gender is similar to biology. But in some societies, it is not the same. So for today, we will refer to them as the same.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor. Let's go straight to our very first question of inquiry. Naturally, how do babies end up being a boy or a girl? Yes.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting topic, as I said. Now, the story is hidden in our cells. The story is hidden in our cells. We all start as a single cell. Whether you are, how big you are, you start as a single cell. Now, this
during
cell,
the formation in the
during
womb?
a formation in the womb of the woman.
Okay.
And this cell is formed by two cells, which are more or less half cells, fusing together. That is the sperm and the egg. Now, inside each of these cells, they are carrying some genetic material, a lot of the genetic material. This is actually the package of information which will build the human being when the two meet during fertilization. Now, specifically for sex, sex is one of the characteristics you develop. I mean, you have as a boy or a girl. That is one of the characteristics. Other characteristics are like skin color, the height, and so on. All those are determined by genes. Now, for the sex, there are some genes which play a part in it. Now, for somebody to be a boy, there has to be specific genes, and these genes are packaged on some structures in the nucleus called chromosomes. So that's when we talk about X and Y chromosome.
Do we have some illustrations?
Yes, I think we can have some illustration. If they can help us display that. Yes. So now, we talked about the genes. Now, these genes are both in the egg and the sperm. But for the sex specifically, the genes which determine whether somebody will be a boy or a girl, the difference is in the sperm. Yes. So in terms of this, there are those sperms which carry the genes, and they are on a chromosome called the Y chromosome inside the nucleus. And there are those which are on the chromosome called the X chromosome. Yeah. So a man produces two types of sperms, those which carry the X chromosome and those which carry the Y chromosome. But for the woman, it is the same. The eggs are the same. So if this sperm carrying this meets the X one, it will make a boy. If Y meets X, it makes a boy.
It makes a boy.
Yeah. If X meets another X, makes a girl. So the determinant here is the type of the sperm. The type of the sperm.
What if Y meets X and twins? Sometimes you see a boy and a girl.
Yes. So in such a case where they are twins and they're of different sexes, that means two eggs have been fertilized. One of the eggs was fertilized by this, and another one was fertilized by that. And so both of these are happening at the same time. Yes. So two eggs in that case. But sometimes...
fertilized by one chromosome? No,
an egg is fertilized by one sperm.
One sperm, sorry.
Yes, so in this case, the woman is releasing two eggs. One egg is fertilized by a sperm, which is carrying the Y chromosome. And another egg is fertilized by another sperm, which is carrying X chromosome. And so both eggs are developing together and in two individuals. Yes. Sometimes these individuals can be of the same sex. Yes. Here we're talking about one sperm being Y and another one being X. But sometimes both sperms can be X.
X.
Yes.
They end up girls.
Yes. And sometimes it can be both Y. And so you have two boys as twins as well.
Thank you so much,
yeah.
Dr.
Different from what we call identical twins. This type of twins are non-identical. They are not similar. Although they are of the same sex, they may be of the same sex. So we will discuss that another time. But there are those twins which are identical, where the fertilization is like this. And instead of going to become one person, the person splits into two inside the womb before it takes the shape. And then you get identical twins.
They look alike.
They look alike. They share the genetic material 100%.
Meaning it was only one egg that was fertilized and it's split into two.
It's split into two.
Okay,
yes.
That is very good.
Yes.
Kindly have a seat, doctor.
Thank you.
Now let's go to this.
Yes.
So who is entirely responsible for the
for
production
the
of
sex
a boy
and
or a girl?
Yes, this is a very, very important question, really, and people need to understand this because it brings in a lot of controversy. Because in our cultures, you find people are not understanding this. Now, it is the man who is responsible for determining whether the child is going to be a boy or the girl. Because the man is the one who produces two different types of sperms. The one which carries X, another one which carries Y. And it's the man. So if his sperm, which carries a Y chromosome, is the one which is participating in fertilization, the child will be a boy. If the sperm is carrying an X chromosome, the X and Y are just names of those chromosomes. If the sperm is carrying an X chromosome, the child will be a girl. For the woman, she produces the same type of egg.
We only receive what we are given.
Yes, you receive what you are given.
Very good.
Exactly.
For all our, someone is saying that's why the children belong to men. That's very unfair, though. It's still medical
we will
minds.
Explain that.
Surely. It's still medical minds, and doctor is trying to explain to us exactly how the conception process takes place, how we end up with a boy or a girl. So, my dear fellow men outside there, you are entirely responsible for giving us the children. First, we just receive. We are like a factory. You bring whatever you have. No chituwa, ne tukuza, ne tuchikudiza. So it's always you entirely. So we should not blame mothers. Ono mchala nobe, ndete gundi nakanjako, ono gundi tatazala mwana mulenzi. It is you responsible for the sex of the child. Thank you so much, doctor, for this clarification.
Thank
now,
you.
how can a man who does not have the ability, for example, there is a mother, there's a lady in our village, deep in the village, who gave birth to 8 girls, and she lost her marriage. The man was like, you're only giving birth to girls. You go. And then he married another woman.
Did he get boys?
She gave birth to 2 girls also, the girl. Yeah. So now, this is what I'm trying to ask. How can such a man be helped? Yes, how can such a man be helped to make sure they have, because in the African context, there's a way we value boys. If you have only girls, there's a way that family will always look for a boy. I don't know what is the logic behind with boys.
I think first of all, I think we need to change that perception. Because as we can see, women are taking up leadership.
True.
Women are doing great things.
True.
Many of our lives have been influenced by women.
True.
I have a lot of testimony about women influencing my own life.
True.
Yeah, so it's probably the cultural connotations from which we have been from, which is going to change. Now, such a man who is producing children of the same sex, for example, in this case, girls only, first of all, we as we had explained, he's the one responsible for determining the sex, yes. Which means most of his sperms, those which are more viable, are the ones which are carrying the X chromosome. Now, what is not clear is why in some people there's preference for one type of sperm. Most preference for Y's, most of them preference for X. But what we also know is that differences between the sexes starts right from the differences between the sperms. We know from the characteristics and behaviors of these sperms that those sperms which are carrying the Y chromosome, they are slightly lighter, they move faster. So they are usually, when they are released together, they're usually ahead of time.
The Y that is likely to have a boy.
Yes,
they're always fast.
Yes, they move faster.
Okay.
They are lighter, but also they don't last for long. Yes, they don't survive for long. The ones for the ladies, for the girls, the ones which are carrying the X chromosome, they are slower. They lag behind, but they last longer.
Does that explain why women are more brave and strong and patient and more sacrificing?
You can't be quite certain about that. Maybe there's some genetic implications, but really, yes. So this is what we know. That's why you find in some situations when people meet, when a couple meet after ovulation. When they meet after ovulation, they are more likely to have a boy than a girl. This is not, it doesn't mean it will happen. There's a chance, yes. Because, for example, if the egg is already there and it is a target and the sperms which are moving in front are the ones which are more boys, they are more likely to hit such an egg. That's
so, meaning, doctor, when these sperms are released before the egg is there, the Y chromosome moves faster.
Yes.
But then it waits for the egg to come, and when the egg doesn't come, it fades out.
Yes, actually it doesn't even wait. It keeps on moving, and if it finds nothing, it fades off.
It fades off.
Oh, yes.
Unlike for the girls, the eggs, they
move
take
slowly.
time. They move slowly until
Yeah.
they get there.
Yes.
Oh, okay, they're slow but sure.
Yeah, so of course we need to, this explanation is with some bit of caution, because there are mechanisms within the tube which try to slow down the movement of the sperm, so that the sperms
What are some of those mechanisms, doctor?
For example, in the right from the cervix, right down from the cervix,
Okay.
we have, if you could have a picture of the picture of a womb, maybe I could explain that. The uterus, a picture of the uterus. So right down from the cervix, there is some barrier. There are some spaces there, there's some mucus, and those trap the sperms a bit and filters some sperm. So there is some slight delay of the sperms there.
Are those mucus dangerous? They're not good?
They are not dangerous. They
are meant to be there.
They are meant to be there.
Okay.
They filter
Something
out.
Here?
Yes, so right from here, this one has an ID, but it's okay. So around here, when the sperms enter, there's some mucus. It filters out sperms and delays the movement of the sperms. Now, those sperms which are strong will move through. Now, when it reaches here at this point, there's also some bit of delay, a bit. Yeah, so the sperms tend to be batched a bit, but yes. But more importantly, more delay is here, around here in the middle of the tube. There are some mechanisms which sort of hold the sperms so that they are not wasted, yes. But in essence, you find at least the ones with carrying the Y chromosomes are usually slightly ahead. Yes, so there are those mechanisms. That's why you need to have some bit of caution. That it is a probability. If you meet after ovulation, your chances are a little bit higher. But if you meet before ovulation, your chances are higher for a girl.
Thank you so much, doctor. Now let's talk exactly about that.
Yes.
Why is it that if you meet after ovulation or after periods, chances are high that you'll conceive a boy?
Yes.
What is the science behind there?
Of course, this is what we were explaining, that the sperm, which carries the Y chromosome, tends to move faster, but it stays for a shorter time. So imagine you have a target there, and you have two bullets moving towards there. One is moving slowly, another one is moving faster. The one which is moving faster will hit first. That is the one carrying the Y chromosome. Yes.
Okay.
Then the one behind, by the time it reaches there, the other one has already hit. And the egg is made such that once it receives one sperm, it blocks.
It blocks her.
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't remarry.
Thank you. Thank you so much, doctor.
Yes.
Let's go into sex selection during IVF.
Yes.
How do you do that?
Yes. So in IVF, the sex selection, can I have the illustration for? Yes. So the IVF has a process. IVF is in vitro fertilization. Now, what happens in summary is that it's a form of treatment we offer for couples with infertility, where we remove the eggs of the woman out, get the man's sperms, and fertilize these eggs. After fertilization, we put the fertilized eggs into the woman's womb. So it's called in vitro fertilization because fertilization is happening outside. In vitro because it's most times glassware. So what happens is it's a normal IVF process, okay? You give some medication to grow the eggs because normally a woman is producing one egg every month. But in this case, you need more eggs, okay? So when the eggs are ready, you remove the eggs, okay?
Okay.
You remove the eggs when they are ready here. You remove them, okay? You remove the eggs. Now, once you remove the eggs, you fertilize them, okay? You fertilize the eggs. Now, once they are fertilized, they will be growing. They will be growing in the lab, okay?
Yes.
Now, when they reach a certain size of number of cells, we pick some of the cells. Before we put into the womb, that is IVF. In IVF, you're supposed to put them into the womb. But in this sex selection, we pick 1 or 2 cells and we test them. because they look the same. Boys and girls look the same.
That is when you're seeing it in the
Yes,
lab.
yes, you are seeing them. You pick 1, 2 cells and you have to test the genes. You look for those chromosomes and the genes.
So you just you test to know?
To know which one is a boy, which one is a girl.
Okay.
And then you put in the one you have selected, either a boy or a girl. So the sex selection process happens around here. The whole entire process is IVF. But you are doing sex selection by doing the gender assessment here.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Yep.
Yes, have a seat. It's still Medical Minds, but on TV we're talking about gender or sex selection in couples, and I think you've seen the illustration Doctor's been showing us. Just in case you are ready to be part of the show, please prepare your questions, prepare all your inquiries. So, it's still Medical Minds. Doctor, let's continue. We look at some sex positions that can help, that especially because of late, if you're, according to research, ladies are more than men. You realize more girls are born almost more than boys. Yes, are there some positions that can help a man to push this the Y chromosome faster, so they move faster? Yes, how? Because I want us to look at the weight after this, the weight of a man, especially because you realize that most men who are a little bit stout, I would love to use the word stout, not fat, men who are stout end up almost having girl child. I don't know if weight is also affecting us. We shall look at that. But for now, let's look at some positions that can help a couple who is watching there and they say, okay, I think we can try this.
Yes, so this is a very interesting question, and I think you've asked a very big question. I think I need to do some splitting.
Okay.
First of all, I think it's right for you to say fat men, because there's a difference between being stout and being fat. Yes, because stout means you are tall and maybe you are muscular. Yes, but fat is fat under the skin. Under the skin and belly and all that thing is different, and it's not healthy at all.
Okay.
Yes. So so the issue is you're asking is whether certain positions of sex, to be specific, permit the couple to get certain gender of the babies.
Yes.
Unfortunately, no. We don't have scientific evidence to that effect. But the other question you're asking is, why are there more women
than men?
Why? Yes, even you look at birth, more girls are born than boys, and in our population, men are almost half the number of the ladies. Why is it that? Why is that discrepancy? Nobody knows the exact reason, but there are some theories. There are some theories. Yes, there are some theories. Now, if you take at birth, there seems to be survival preference of one, the sperms, and two, the embryos after fertilizing. It looks like we are losing a lot of the embryos which were fertilized by the Y chromosome. Their survival seems not to be as good. For reasons we are yet to understand. They seem to be more delicate and survival is a bit low. So this translates into a discrepancy in the ratios at birth. Initially, we were thinking that these are more of nutritional. Initially, we were thinking that there's no difference, but there seems to be difference. Yes, there seems to be some difference. Even in the embryos we see in the lab, there seems to be differences. Yeah. So when we do IVF, there seems to be some bit of differences among the embryos as well. Yeah, so there has to be something which affects the survival, and it's maybe related to the gender at every stage. But even obviously, you see, women are more careful than men. Men take a lot of risk, so we do lose even more boys, more men, even in their later stages. There are some professions which, for a long time, they are confined to the men, and they are risky professions. profession, armed forces. You'll find more men there. Even right now, there are ladies there, but you find if you go into the real frontline activities, you'll find more men in the front line operating risky machines and stuff like that. So men, by design, they take more risk, and they are more likely to be lost earlier. The borders, you see, most of them are men, and then this is so there has to be something which affects our survival. Yes. So
even if you look at the old age number age, in most cases, it's women who live longer.
Yes, women live longer. That's true, because behavior, their bodies, actually biologically, women's bodies are more resilient.
I think it starts right from the chromosomes.
Very early on. So
we move slowly, but we are strategic.
Yes.
We are firm and sure for the goals.
Yes.
And then the boys come in slowly, and they
end up earlier.
We shall talk about that. We are going to have a very brief break, and when we come back, we shall continue with the discussion. Please stay with us.
Bethany TV for health.
Attention everyone, the Ministry of Health has planned to vaccinate all persons aged 1 year to 60 years old to protect them against yellow fever disease. The mass vaccination will take place in 53 districts in these regions: Kampala, Buganda, Teso, Ankole and Karamoja. Vaccination is free and available at all government health facilities and outreach posts in these regions. The vaccination campaign will take place from April 2nd to April 8th, 2024. The vaccine is safe, effective and free of charge and has been approved by World Health Organization and Ministry of Health. This message is from Ministry of Health with support from Gavi.
Exciting news for all viewers of Bethany TV. Bethany TV, the premier health TV channel in Uganda and Africa, and also your favorite TV station, is now on Star Times. You can now watch Bethany TV day and night, weekdays and weekends on Star Times, channel 271. Catch your favorite programs on health, wellness, entertainment, and so much more. Bethany TV is also available on free-to-air, GoTV, YoTV, Airtel TV, and Afro mobile apps. Not forgetting online via our website www.bethanytv.ug and social media platforms at Bethany TV UG. Bethany TV for health.
Health Minutes on Bethany TV. Self-medication is taking drugs, herbs, or home remedies on one's own initiative or on the advice of another person without consulting a doctor. Medicine is safe when the people who are using it have sufficient knowledge about its dosage, time of intake, and the side effects on overdose.
Medicines can be small poisons, remember? Whereas they can cure diseases, they can also be taken wrongly and they become poison. So disease from self-prescriptions, self-medications, or even sharing medicines. The symptoms for the body can look the same, but if you take medicines because so-and-so took them, they are feeling exactly the same way, the diseases may be different.
It is recommended to get a health checkup and to take medicine that has been prescribed by a healthcare professional according to the diagnosis made before taking any type of medicine.
Take that medicine according to the prescription from your trained, professional, licensed health worker.
Better healthcare for a better tomorrow. That was the Health Minute.
UNICEF and Bethany Group are hosting a virtual webinar on the basics of infertility on March 15th, 2024 from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Zoom. Earn a generous UNICEF scholarship to pursue a British bachelor's or master's degree online from one of their prestigious UK partner universities, the University of East London, Liverpool John Moores University, and the University of Suffolk. Register now and achieve your academic dreams. For more information, please send an email to info@uganda.unicaf.org or contact us on WhatsApp at 771 976 750.
Bethany TV, for health.
Welcome back, boy or girl. That is what we are talking about here during our discussion with Doctor. It's still Medical Mind. Welcome back from that brief break. Doctor, we were still explaining to us the fertilization process and gender selection in IVF. But someone here told me, Teacher Zeta, kindly ask Doctor this question before you proceed. Yes, is there any food that a man can eat to support the Y chromosome? To boost the Y chromosomes.
Okay.
Especially if they're getting on a girls, to give them energy to push faster and run the race quickly.
Yeah, so unfortunately we don't have evidence to that, and that there is a particular food or medication you can take which can help you to get a particular gender. We still don't have any food that can help you with that. But there are ways in which, like what we said, part of IVF is possible. You can do the gender selection, but also there are some newer ways now which are coming up, which I think if they become available, they will be able to help. Now, in IVF, we select the gender. We do the test after fertilization. That means you have to go through the whole process of IVF. Yes, but there are newer methods. We call them cytometry. Now, this is where we do the sorting of the cells. Here we do cell sorting before fertilization. So this will help to reduce, because genetic tests are very expensive. Genetic tests are very expensive, and they make sex selection process expensive. So now these newer methods are using the ability to separate the X and Y chromosome sperms, and then you can either use insemination or some simpler method of treatment. Okay. Yeah.
So is
it still experimental?
Okay, thank you. So this process is always 100% sure that whatever that you've chosen will be that.
Yes. So for this one of determining, assessing after IVF process, yeah, this one is a. You can, the error margin is very low, is negligible. It's like 99.9%. Yes. Okay. Yeah, because following the Human Genome Project, now we have very robust ways of testing genes.
Thank you. Same way your question is here, we are going to give Doctor the question shortly when that time comes. We are still going to look at the weight, Doctor, the weight of the man.
The weight of the man.
How does it affect
the genital?
The genital, yes, or of the child.
Yes. So the weight of the man,
especially the ones who are overweight.
Yes, we do not have a specific scientific explanation for that, but it's an observation we've seen. But it's possible also it could be related to it could also be related to their general health, and that may be affecting the survival of the sperms and the embryos as well. But we don't have any specific explanation for that. Yes, we don't have. Because what the weight also does affect is their sexual behavior as well. Yeah. Whether that translates into this discrepancy in the gender, we don't know. Okay. Unfortunately.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Doctor. It's still Medical Minds. We are talking about gender or sex selection. Why boy, why girl? And if you've been keenly following what Doctor is explaining to us, you're free now to keep sending in your messages on those numbers that will always keep running on the on the screen, and Doctor will answer you back. Same as saying, please, Doctor, teachers, kindly ask Doctor this: how do I know that I'm ovulating?
Okay.
She wants to time. I think she's planning to time. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So she wants to use the knowledge of meeting after ovulation.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. So ovulation is, there are certain things you can notice as a woman to notice that you are ovulating. The ovulation time. From the symptoms, one is you can feel the ovulation pain. There's a specific pain which you feel on one side. It's either on the left or on the right. It's not in the middle usually. So that's sharp pain. And it is a pain of release of the egg. That's one of the things. But also the change in the mucus. If you have been noticing how your mucus is behaving, the cervical mucus, the discharge, you can keep on assessing in your finger and see how far it stretches. So the mucus at the time of ovulation usually stretches longer. Yeah, what we call a Billings test. So it stretches longer. So that is the time. And another thing is you can actually notice your sexual drive going up at the time of ovulation.
The urge becomes higher?
Urge, yes, the sexual urge, the desire for your husband goes up. The likes and so goes up. But also, if you can measure your temperature early in the morning. If you find there's a rise in the temperature and it remains consistent for some days. So those are the ways. But also, you can test. There are ovulation test kits available now. Yes, they are there.
How are they, like the SCG tests?
They're like SCG tests.
Okay.
They are sort of, they are strips.
Okay.
You can test in your urine.
Okay.
Early in the morning, you test and then you will see 2 lines appearing. It's called OviCheck.
OviCheck.
Yeah, they are available.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Those were some of the most important questions that we wanted our viewers to know about sex selection. The rest will come aboard. Last week we didn't answer some of the questions, and we promised that before we dive into answering these other questions for this Sunday, we shall first attend to you. Number one, we had one who, I think, Rachel. Thank you for the show. We really appreciate everything. My question is, when a mother loses a baby immediately after birth and the baby is buried with his or her umbilical cord, can that same mother conceive again and give birth to a healthy baby who would have a healthy life for years?
Yes, okay, that's, thanks for that question. The straightforward answer is whether the baby is buried with the umbilical cord or not has no effect on the reproductive life of the mother. Yes.
This was Rachel.
It's more of a myth and a cultural practice. Yeah, so once the umbilical cord is out with the placenta, it has nothing to do with the mother's health.
Thank you so much. I have 2 kids, Doctor. I've never gotten normal labor pains, but whenever it's 41 weeks, my cervix opens up to 2 centimeters. They normally induce me. I would like to know what it could be.
Yes, so she's wondering why her labor does not set up properly at the time of when she's ready to give birth. Now, the initiation of labor, the process of initiation of labor is a very complex hormone and nerve process. Unfortunately, medicine is filled with gray areas. And gray areas where we know something but not much. And this seems to be one of the areas. We still don't know the exact trigger of labor. And even those where we think it's some hormones from the adrenal glands, maturation from the baby's brain, all those things are speculative. We don't know the exact mechanism. So this process, this issue of for example, why should labor start at that stage? We do not know the exact reason. And why it starts in some people and in others it does not start, we don't know. So it remains why labor starts at that time. It remains a mystery.
And of late it's too much, Doctor. Many ladies are going into giving birth without labor pain. They are getting induced.
Yes, of course, the ideal thing is when your labor, we estimate the time period, the normal time period where the pregnancy should be, up to 40 weeks. But there has to be some allowance usually. You have to give an allowance of about 2 weeks if there's no problem at all. Because sometimes these estimates are wrong. There can be some errors in the dates.
So it could be that really.
Yeah. So it's not a good idea to rush.
Sometimes the scan tells you 40 weeks, yet you're still 30 something.
Exactly. So when you are deciding to give birth, sometimes if you just wait for the 2 weeks, of course this will be discussed with the health worker. They have to rule out any other problem. The babies will be okay, the mothers will be okay. The water around the babies will be enough. No impending problem. You can give 2 more weeks.
Thank you so much.
Weeks.
I think you have someone who wants to talk to you, Doctor. Bethan TV, good evening. Hello, caller. Hello. Sorry, I think the network is not very okay. Thank you, Doctor, for that. That was, I think, Stella from Chinawataka. I get periods twice or 3 times a month. Sometimes I miss for 2 to 3 months. I'm 25 years old. My name is Stella from Mulago. This was one of the viewers last week.
One of the questions from the viewers, yes. So there are two things there. First of all, she's having irregular periods. She says that when the periods come, they happen twice a month.
Or 3 times.
Or 3 times. And then there comes a time when she misses her periods.
True.
Usually, it's not mixed up like that. But if you are missing your periods, as we always say, period is an interplay between hormones and the womb. If she's missing her periods, the most commonest cause in a young girl is in somebody like that, usually is those things called PCOS. That's one of the commonest causes. But if the period comes more frequently, that could be something else. But it's also PCOS can be the cause.
Okay.
So she needs an evaluation of her hormones and possibly a scan to look at the womb and the ovaries.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yes.
This is Cara from SETA. Please kindly help me, Doctor. I always have false pregnancy. She can test. She goes. She gets all the symptoms, but only to discover after a month that it was a false alarm. What could that be?
She tests and then it is positive.
Yes. She feels like she's saying she normally feels like the nausea. She feels all the symptoms, and she gets all the first signs, but only to go and test.
It's negative.
There is nothing, and immediately I think after that, the signs and symptoms disappear. Yeah,
so having a false pregnancy, what we call in medicine pseudocyesis.
Pseudocyesis.
Yes, it's having a false pregnancy. It happens. Sometimes it is a combination of things. That somebody is expecting a pregnancy and actually wants a pregnancy, and then they go through a time when their hormones are high and it gives them the sensation of a pregnancy. And that is held by the brain and the thinking as well.
Okay.
So all that puts them into a situation where they feel like they are pregnant. In some people,
because they're anxious, their brain is already triggered into it.
Yes,
okay.
In some people it actually can make them have real symptoms of pregnancy, and it goes up to, we've seen some people going beyond 9 months. Yes, they claim they did not see the period, and I think they may not be seeing their period. So that's a false pregnancy. It can happen. Okay. But the fact that she's expectant means she wants to get a pregnancy. Maybe it's not coming. She needs to be evaluated. She really needs to be evaluated so that other things don't come into the play.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Yes, I think we have another caller on the line. Bethan TV, good evening.
Yes, good evening, Bethany TV.
How are you?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Ruhemba.
Yes, Rotemba.
I'm calling from Chiboga.
Yes, thanks so much for watching Bethan TV. Go on with your question.
I want to know from the doctor. He said that he is usually a man who becomes the sex of a child.
Oh, yes, it is.
But I have a scenario where I have seen a woman who have produced 5 girls from 3 men.
5 girls from 3 men.
And when another man who had boys only tried this lady, still she produced a girl.
Thank you so much, Rotemba.
Was she unfortunate that she gets the men with the X chromosomes? What is it?
Thank you so much, Sebo. Thanks a lot. Doctor is here to get back to you.
Yeah, that's
wow,
very interesting.
Very interesting question indeed.
It's a very interesting. Yeah, so from the science, as we said, the truth is, it is the man's sperm which determines the sex of the baby. That is the scientific truth. In this particular case, I can say most likely it is just the chance. It is just a chance. Maybe because the timing of the sex, maybe they think, because this, as I explained before, having sexual intercourse before ovulation gives you a higher chance of getting a girl. It's possible that most of her sexual contacts are occurring before ovulation. Yes, it's possible. That's possible, but it could just be also just a chance.
A chance, maybe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But
Oh,
it's
luck.
very interesting. Yeah.
Thank you so
It's
much, Dr.
interesting.
Rutem. I think you've heard the response from Dr. The last one is saying, good evening, Mosao. Is it a fact or a myth that an IUD can cause ectopic pregnancy?
Oh yeah, that's a very good question.
I think there's someone calling you, Doctor, before you respond. Bethan TV, good evening. Hello, this is Medical Minds.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Nana from Kayunga.
Nana? Hannah?
Hello.
Yes, Hannah, we are getting you well. Kale mama, nawe je baliko.
Kati njagala kubuuza Doctor.
Ye mama.
Njagala kumanya ku safe days.
Okay.
Yeah, nze njagala okutegeera.
Kale Hannah, omusawo kakuddemu.
Neyanzisa.
Webale tukubira kasemu Hannah, thank you. She wants to know something about safe days.
Safe days.
Just as she was not specific, either she wants to know how to time, how to...
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we start with this and then go back.
Yes, we can. We were talking about someone who, the last question that we read here. Yes, it's okay. Maybe we can first receive 3 callers, then you answer them at once.
Okay.
Yes, we shall start with Hannah. Good evening, Medical Minds.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you? Can you raise your voice a little bit?
Hi. I'm calling from Chisase.
Yes, what's your name?
I'm called Pretty.
Yes, Pretty.
Now I was inquiring.
Yes, please.
How do you get your safe days? How do you count your safe days?
How do you?
Count your safe days.
How do you count your safe days?
Yes, after told me after 4 days, there you can conceive. I'm not sure.
Thank you so much, Pretty.
She wants to conceive?
Yes, you want to conceive?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Will give you all the answer. Thank you. We have another call on the line. Okay, thank you. As we wait for other callers, Doctor, maybe you can first answer Anna and Pretty. I think the questions are almost the same.
The same. The first one was about
the first one was about IUD.
Whether the IUD
yes, whether it can cause ectopic pregnancy.
Oh yeah, so that's a very important question actually. I don't know if there's this illustration with the IUD, the picture of the womb with the IUD.
There's one we had earlier on.
They could put it just for us.
Okay.
It's very important to explain that because it's a question people ask
Thank you.
often.
As he's looking for it, let's first talk to the caller. Medical Minds, good evening.
Yes.
Good evening.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What's your name?
My name is Christine.
Christine, go on with your inquiry.
I'd want to find out,
Yes, please.
in case someone has sickle cell, the husband and the wife are sickle cellers. Is it possible during IVF to select the funds and the egg which are not sickle cell for fertilization? Is it possible?
Thank you so much, Christine. Doctors had you. Thank you, Christine. Yes.
Okay, so we need to respond to
We shall respond to them. The illustration is right here.
Yeah, so thanks for the illustration.
This is an IUD?
Yeah, so this is the picture of a uterus, a womb. So when the IUD is put in, it's like this. It's a T and usually inside the womb. And it has a small tail which goes through here, the cervix. This helps the health worker to remove it when it is needed to be removed.
Okay.
Yeah, so the IUD is a foreign body here. It makes the environment here unfavorable for the sperm to pass through. So the chemical environment here kills the sperms before the sperms reach the tubes to meet the egg. That's how the IUD works primarily. But also we know that if fertilization has already occurred, it prevents the embryo or the egg from attaching here. Yes. And that's why sometimes they use the IUD as a form of emergency contraception. Yes. Now, this explanation is so important to understand.
Yes, doctor.
And understand, get the response to that question whether IUDs can cause ectopic pregnancy. IUD does not cause ectopic pregnancy. It does not cause ectopic pregnancy by itself. But it can permit those pregnancies which were supposed to happen in the tubes to occur. If, for example, fertilization occurred and the baby was supposed to come and attach here, then it reaches here, it does not have an attachment and it dies. Yes. But if it is a pregnancy which occurred and it ends up, it was supposed to be there, the IUD will not have an effect on it. So that means it prevents any other pregnancy from occurring in the womb, apart from the one which was supposed to occur there. So in this way, people think that it causes ectopic pregnancy, but it doesn't. Only that it does not prevent ectopic pregnancy. This is the only thing. So it's one of its weaknesses. In case a pregnancy was supposed to occur in the tube, because maybe the egg, the sperm somehow passed and then it reached there and caused fertilization, and then it will not prevent that pregnancy from occurring. But it by itself does not cause.
It does not cause ectopic pregnancy. Yes. Thank you so much, doctor, for that clarification. Yes, we can start with Hannah as we wait for more callers. Hannah was also asking about
the safe days.
The safe days.
The safe days. I think they are interested. The question is referring to how can I time my ovulation in a way that I'm able to. Yes, I am able to conceive. We could refer to the illustration of the menstrual cycle, those ones with the graphs. If I can have that, it would help instead of this. If we could have the graph, menstrual cycle graph, this is the moon beat.
This is the moon beat.
Yeah. Okay. It may not be very easy to understand this for now, but I want to use the graph where we have the hormone levels
in the variation in the women.
Yes, so
okay.
That picture is important. If
I think we had that during infertility topic, something like that.
Yes, I think we have it.
Okay.
But as we get it, I can try to explain.
Okay.
So on average. The woman's reproductive life goes in a cycle, and this cycle it starts from the beginning of the period and it ends with the beginning of the next period. That is considered as one cycle. And in this cycle, somewhere in the middle, the woman is supposed to have released an egg. So when the period starts, the egg starts growing in the womb. Usually some few eggs grow and one matures. And it takes approximately 14-16 days for the egg to be ready and to be released, usually around 16 days or 14 days. Now, when that egg is released, that is the time when the woman is fertile. Yes. And then if the woman meets with a man, the egg will be fertilized and she will get pregnant. If that fertilization fails within 2 days, the egg will die and she will get a period in the next 14 days. This is roughly how the body is tuned now.
So if the egg does not die, the periods will not come, meaning it is fertilized?
Yes, if it gets fertilized, the baby will get attached, then the whole cycle is stopped, it goes into a pregnancy phase.
Thank you so much.
This is not quite helpful, but still referring to my explanation now. That means fertility in the woman is peak at the time of ovulation, when she's releasing her eggs. On average, in a woman whose cycle is 28 days, ovulation occurs on day 14 from the beginning of the period. Okay? Which means if the woman meets with a man on day 14, the egg will be there, she can get pregnant. But also, if she meets with a man like 2 days before, the sperms can still be in the system. So by the time she ovulates, she will still be able to get pregnant. Even then, when she releases an egg, the egg can still be fertilized in the next 2 days. So the fertility period is usually calculated 2 days before ovulation, ovulation day, and 2 days after ovulation. That's why we usually say if you want to time to get pregnant, you should try in the time period 2 days before ovulation, during ovulation day, and 2 days after. Which means if somebody ovulates on day 14, 2 days before is day 12 and day 13, she could still get pregnant if she met in that period.
Okay.
Yes. And then 2 days after, that is day 15 and day 16. So day 12 through to day 16 is a good timing.
Okay.
With a peak on day 14.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want to get pregnant, time 2 days before ovulation, during ovulation, and 2 days after. That is the peak time. Okay. Because you ovulate in that time.
Thank you so much.
But of course, it is different. If somebody wants to avoid pregnancy, we usually stretch it further. We stretch that 1 week.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think you've answered Pretty and Hannah's question at the same time. Let's listen to Christine's case, whereby she's saying, in case you are the couple has sickle cells, and during IVF, is it possible for you to select the healthy genes without?
Actually, this is one of the key things which I thought we'll discuss in the next session. It's a key thing, but it's good she has asked that question. Yes. She's called Christine?
Christine, yes.
Yeah, Christine. The answer is yes, it's possible for if both couple are sickle cell, either they have the sickle cell disease or carriers, which means they have the sickle cell gene, either half or full. For the carriers, there are 2 copies of these genes, or always. One may be normal and another one is the sickle cell gene, that is a carrier, or they are sickle cell disease where both genes are sickle cell. So in both cases, it is important to avoid the babies who have sickle cell, and luckily in IVF we're able to do that. We're able to help them, and we've helped a number of couples in that way.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Hello, Doctor. Thanks for the show. Ask Doctor what an anechoic cyst means and the cause, something like that.
An echoic cyst.
Anechoic cyst, something like that.
It's okay. Fine. Yeah. So I think this is the person who went to do a scan. And on the scan, they found a cyst, an ovarian cyst. An ovarian cyst is a swelling within the ovary, and it usually has water in it. So when you are doing a scan, it will appear as a round ball, usually, and it has black. A round ball with a black appearance in the center. Yes, that is a cyst.
And
now,
what caused that?
Anechoic means the cyst is plain and plain black. It does not have white particles inside. It has implication because when it is anechoic, these are usually simple cysts. They don't indicate bleeding inside the cyst. They don't indicate cancers. So it is important to understand the description. That's why the sonographer will tell the doctor that, it is this size of cyst, and the texture inside is anechoic, that is, it has no echoes, and the wall is not thick or thin. They will give you the measurement. And so the doctor will figure out that, yes, this is the type of cyst I'm dealing with, and it is not of a worry. And so just tells the client that, no, you relax, or maybe take something simple, it will go.
Thank you so much, Doctor. We really have lots of questions here, but we are time bad.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you can give us some hope that next week we shall start from there.
I think we shall try to answer some questions.
Next week?
Yes, we can try to
Okay.
answer some questions.
Thank
of course,
you.
we can't finish them.
True, we
Medicine
can't
is very
finish
wide,
them.
yeah.
Yes, but we're already time bad. Just in case you need doctor, you need to meet him physically. Please come to Bethan Women's Hospital Ozira. You'll be able to meet him and see him physically, and you ask him whatever that you want. Ebibuuzo ebimu wano oyinza obitabimalayo naye bw'ogenda mu ddwaliro ojja musangayo mwogere bulungi nnyo akuwa obudde obumala, and then you come out when you're satisfied. Doctor, our last session,
yes.
Truth or false? Yes, truth or false, as we conclude. In case we've not read your question, Bambi, feel free, don't feel offended. Next week, that's where we shall start from, just like we did today. We shall answer all the things, and you'll be able to get your answered back. We have six out of 6, Doctor. Number 1, false or truth? The missionary position is solemnly responsible for the female gender. False or truth?
False.
Thank you. Intercourse before ovulation will automatically result into conceiving a baby girl. Truth or false,
Not
Doctor?
automatically.
Okay. Thank you.
It is a chance.
Thank you. Yes. Most heavyweight men are likely to produce girls, Doctor. Truth or false?
Well, not really. Although it seems to be what we observe. We don't have an explanation for that.
Okay, thank you. Intercourse immediately after your periods can result into a male child. Truth or false, Doctor?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Thank you so much, Doctor. Deep penetration, e.g. doggy style, can lead to formation of the male child, Doctor?
No.
Not really.
A guarantee.
Thank you. None out of 6.
Yes.
Doctor, give your last remarks to the viewers.
Yes,
Especially those who feel like they want to get the baby boy child, but they've still failed.
Yes, so what I can tell people is that with science now we know how sex is determined, and luckily we are able to determine or select the sex for the boy, for the baby. It may be a girl or a boy through what we call IVF process, and it's available. So there's no need to knock your head. You can come over and you can be helped.
Thank you.
We now know reliably very well the science, and we can do that.
Thank you so much. Don't miss Medical Minds next week on Sunday, the same time, the same station here at Bethan TV, as we answer all your questions that we didn't tackle, and then we bring in more discussions as far as your health is concerned. I'm Teacher Zita. We've been together with Dr. Andabati as usual. We are going to sign out. And tomorrow is Monday. Energize yourself. As I always tell you, energize yourself. Go at your workplace. Do your best. And good things always come to those who sacrifice. From the team, sleep well.